objects. Looking through her to amaze, yet it optics, her eyes become thin. When faced with that option, the time is infinite, or the clock a coffin. Of the company of atomic property, just in a box that breed, fostering.
All right, we ready to go? You good? You good? You good? Cool. Welcome to Higher Ground. Today we've got a very special treat for our pilot episode. We've got Wasteland Hop here. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Well, you guys are pretty intense. You've got so much going for you guys. You've been on tour. You've toured in around everywhere. You've toured with a bunch of people. Played with some really big names, Macklemore, Talib Kweli, all that kind of stuff. And most interesting to me, you guys have toured in Alaska. Why of all states there? Why that state? What happened? What happened to get you a following in Alaska? Because from what I understand, you got a big following there too.
Yeah, I remember the first time. Mickey's from Alaska. He's a native of Anchorage, and the first time he told us, "Hey, I think we should go on a summer tour." 2012. It was our first year as a band. I thought he was totally crazy.
It was a joke.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's go to Alaska. That sounds great. I'll see you there." But then he put it together, and we were all blown away. I think our first time up there, and just knew we had to come back.
The logistics of it, though, is being like a new band. You know, I know a lot of bands struggle to get around the nation, like even in their little shitty Chevy vans that have no back seats and they're sitting there. But how do you get there? Like the logistics of getting up there. Do you like ride? Like I've heard some rumors around town that you do like ride shares and stuff like that. And do you do that, or how do you get up there?
I like those rumors, but...
What, are they good rumors?
No, it's not
you charter private jets
Yes.
and fly first class.
We have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah, we have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Is that just it?
Well, yeah.
We just want to thank the fans.
We just have a lot to be grateful for. We're not disclosing how we get there for tax reasons.
Teleportation will be available in the next 10 years.
Time travel.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But yeah, really careful budgeting, incredibly careful budgeting, planning. A lot of times when we're on the road, we figure out how to have free housing so that that's not an expense. And then we've only flown, we have a daydream of driving up to Alaska, but we've only ever flown up there.
That's good.
Sometimes we've driven up to Seattle and flown. We did a little tour up Seattle and Washington and Oregon, and then flew up from Seattle. So sometimes it's, I don't even know, it's cheaper to do that, but
it's like not very glamorous or rock star, but it's like, oh, air miles.
Frequent flyer miles. We'll get you somewhere at some point.
And then as far as the equipment, like we can't take all our equipment up, but
right.
We have a really good guy up there, Martin Severin, who we rent equipment from.
Provides you with equipment when you're there.
Deal, and it's affordable for us because Mickey's got the connections.
That's the one thing with logistics. It's probably always an issue to drive all the way up there. But I mean, it's really not. That's not terrible. But
Mickey's done the drive, isn't it? Like a 7 or 8 day drive or more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is really terrible.
To Colorado.
It's like a 41-hour drive, right?
Shows how much I learned in geography class.
But yeah, that's our dream this year. I think is to try and incorporate a tour up West Coast, British Columbia, to the Yukon, and then arrive in Alaska. Oh. So that's on the horizon, hopefully for us.
And for when do you have any idea? You said just soon-ish.
Try and touch down in Alaska first weekend of August. So yeah, it'd be kind of like a July, probably like a month-long tour.
Oh, sweet.
But it's one thing in the dreams, it's another get it to reality. It's going to be a lot of hard work.
And I mean, you guys also have a new, some new music coming out here soon that you guys wanted to talk about too.
Yeah.
What's the story on that? What's the scoop? Oh, that interesting. Huh? No one wants to respond.
Ice cream.
Well, a couple of the songs we were able to record at the Blasting Room Studios thanks to this nonprofit organization in Fort Collins called Spokesbuzz. And so the Blasting Room, you walk in, there's platinum records on the walls and stuff. They've recorded Rise Against. So that has been a great recording environment. So we got 2 of the songs we were able to record for free there. And then the rest of them we recorded at the Spot Studios in Denver, which is in this mansion in Denver. And we worked with these guys, Glenn and Rich, who are just great. And we
that doesn't sound rock star-ish at all. Platinum records on the wall, recording studios and mansions.
Private tennis court.
There was a dead animal, but we survived.
Pardon?
There was a dead animal.
Do elaborate. Do elaborate.
There was this, we were pretty much in the master bedroom. It was a great spot. There's these beautiful beds, full-length mirrors. But then there's this terrible odor. And we eventually, I think they found a dead mouse behind the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And so we'd be like, there's an oxygen bar right there. So we were like, man, this place is so
Wow,
stinky.
behind the oxygen bar.
And
First world problems, straight up, baby, here. There was a dead mouse behind the oxygen bar in my master bedroom suite.
It died of suffocation.
Oh,
And Mickey used the bidet.
Oh, the bidet.
Oh, there was a bidet too.
those are just a whole boatload of fun.
I'm always like afraid. I'm like, I kind of want to use, but no.
Anyone used a bidet before? Anyone? Okay, good. Yeah.
Just this guy.
Just
It sprayed me in the face first.
oh, wow,
Yeah.
all I
you're
know
using
is-
it correctly then. aren't you?
I went into
No
the
one's taught me.
bathroom and there was just water everywhere. And then I went out and Mickey was just it was just all smiles. So
True story.
Good job. Made it happen.
Jesus. Well,
But being up in Alaska is a special thing. It's a special thing.
beautiful segue. Thank you for saving me on that one. Going from a bidet to album release is a really tough one. At least you brought it back around to Alaska.
Bring it around. Bring it around.
Full circle. So, anyway, you had the you had the pleasure of recording with the Blasting Room and Spot Studios.
Mhm.
So when is this? Is this an album? Singles? What tell us more about it? Because when is it coming out? All the juicy stuff.
Yeah, so the official release is January 23rd. We're gonna have a release party at Hodie's with Wheelchair Sports Camp, Mama Lenny and the Remedy and the Babes. And then the 24th we play Lermer Lounge again with Wheelchair Sports Camp and the Other Black. But the album itself is called Symbiotic Clock, and we got 6 songs that we've been kind of working tirelessly on the past probably 6 months. But yeah, the recording process was very organic. We had the proper space. The songs weren't cemented per se. So some of the songs we actually we lived at the studio for a week, and after recording we could go hang outside, have beers by the fire, and kind of organize the songs, develop the structure, and it's just a perfect environment for creating it.
And the guys that we worked with were just like amazingly supportive and positive affirmations all the time. Like, it just makes you feel comfortable being an artist, being able to be in a situation where you can just feel like you're yourself,
Yeah.
and the product comes out from that.
yeah, and they push it was awesome because certain studios you go into and they clock in at like 10 in the morning and then they're like, all right, we're going to try to be done by like 6 p.m. Both these guys, we would wake up, eat some food, start at noon, and then around 6 p.m., we'd had a good day, and they would keep pushing more and more, and they would end up working until about like midnight or so in the same evening. And so it was, they went above and beyond what we had expected. And seriously, that studio is amazing. It's amazing to work in.
It's nice when people can, are supportive in that method, because it's, from what I've seen when it comes to studio people, they tend to be really pretentious and, I want money, I want to be compensated for every minute that I'm here, and then go home and, not have anything to do. It's nice to see that there's still support for music around in studios specifically, because that's the place where the recordings happen and where realistically that stuff comes to fruition,
Yeah.
It was an interesting environment, especially being that it was a house, so they actually lived there.
Right. And you all could live there.
Yeah, we all would cook meals together and eat together, and it was just
communal.
sort of like a family environment for the whole week.
It's really nice and communal, and
all our interns would come through, and we'd get to meet people, and it was interesting.
It was like an oasis. I had to go to the post office one day, and I drove there, and I was like freaking out. It was like all these people, and I was like, "Get me back!" And, I drove back, and as soon as I got on the property and parked my car and closed my door, I was like, now I can be comfortable again. It was just, it was like an oasis. It was an oasis in the middle of Lakewood.
Sounds.
Lakewood's beautiful. Yeah.
We actually lost Adam about a month ago. He showed up at the Spot Studios. They were like, "Hey, did you lose him?" We're like, "Yeah, he had
crawling
his tag
on
so
drugs
okay."
and tired out.
I was on drugs.
Oh well, I'm glad I brought it up then.
The post office was actually the back of some van that was open, and he was only about 30 feet away.
Things tend to look.
It's hard, you know. It's hard getting out.
Things tend to look
Adam
different.
confuses easily.
Yeah.
No, it was an excellent time. It was, and I'm very proud of everybody making songs, just making songs, like just
Thanks,
step it up.
Adam.
We had a big bottle of Beam during Brian's bass time, and he made it happen.
Yeah, both those guys, like, we had about a handle of it, and it was time to do the bass tracks, and I polished off almost half of it during that time, and they kept giving me, like, this cross, they're like, you want to do one more? You want to do one more? I'm like, yeah. Like, long story short, they were very accommodating. Everything panned out very well. I'm probably an alcoholic.
You know, this show is a perfect platform to bring up your drinking prowess.
Yeah, this is actually a stage intervention that we've been
So,
planning.
yeah.
We're all here for you.
It's the best place.
Thank
It's the best place to bring up anyone's drinking prowess, for sure.
I will say, no matter how much I drank, I never thought I went to the post office.
Oh, well, that's good.
But also, Daisy was able to join us at the Spot Studios. And so she happened to be like in the space, and we're like, Daisy, like, you know, we've kind of heard you sing like in the background, and it sounded really good. Like, what do you think about coming in on this song? And like, we never really heard what she had, but she had like the instrumental, and she spent the entire day singing to herself, like in these, you know, spaces within the house. And then she went into the studio, and like, I think it was kind of like a moment. It was a very pure, magical moment where like we heard her live. It's like, oh, yeah,
like you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she kills it, like, so beautiful.
This new album, is it going to come out? What formats is it coming out on? Spotify? You said CD release party.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are so many people who are, they wonder what those little round discs are for and where they go, you know.
For sure.
They really don't, they've never seen a CD before.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Our approach, we've been working with the artists, so we have, this is our third album, and each album we've worked with Taylor Gallegos, who lived in Fort Collins, now lives in San Diego. But so our approach to, like, you know, the world of like a disc is to accompany it with like a kind of a gallery. And so he created a portrait for each track and created all the album artwork. So it is kind of a weird thing, like, you know, the music doesn't by necessity need to exist on a CD, it seems. Like a lot of bands just do online releases. But we're very much, I think, as persons, still invested in like the visceral experience,
the physical product.
Yeah, and it's not
and
just like the audio, but like, you know, he listened to our album like nonstop for a week and just paint. It's like very much what we presented in, like the packaging is a part of the album.
I mean, that's a lot of work. That's a shit ton of work.
Yeah,
and he's an amazing person, and he's an artist, like an incredible artist, and also we've had him on tour with us, and he's done live art with us while we play, and it's just.
Where's this guy now? Where is he?
San Diego being a chump.
Yeah.
Living, surfing, and drawing, and living with oranges.
Oh, I love those lofty lives that those people lead. I'm so jealous.
Lemons and stuff, fresh avocados, whatever they do.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
Very like practical purpose though to having a physical CD is that as a touring band, people do actually buy them at shows still.
Right, it's still a valuable asset as far as merch.
So yeah, it helps us to pay for us traveling and going on tour
right.
and selling them. So.
Right.
And to answer your question about other platforms, yeah, we're planning on releasing it on Spotify and iTunes and elsewhere online as well. We've got music videos so people can watch and listen to it on YouTube. So I think our philosophy overall is we want people listening to our music, and so we want to bring the music to them. And
in the modern day, it's really hard only to survive off of a physical platform, as unfortunate as that may be. Because I mean, I'm a huge fan of vinyl and CDs. But these days, you kind of have to go digital, unfortunately. But luckily, there are many means like Spotify, like you were saying, you're going to release it on Spotify, that allow you to still get paid for it. And also, I mean, there's multiple ways where you could incorporate the art into Spotify itself with the album title or with the song titles and stuff like that, which I think would be really nice. Because most people, when they throw stuff on Spotify, it's just
album art used to be such an important thing, and I wanted to. Come back.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's just it adds to so much. Like the art and the music come together as one. So.
I mean, you used to be able to buy a vinyl album and be able to look at it and frame it practically. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could frame it, and it was beautiful. Absolutely stunning art. And then it shrunk down to CDs, and then it went to digital, and then people kind of stopped caring that much. But I think it would be interesting to see like a revival of that kind of stuff, and I think your guys' music is really interesting for it because you've got, after listening to you guys a lot in the past couple of, past week, it's interesting because there's so many different elements in your style of music. You have Honey Cigarettes was the song that you guys just did, or it's one of the newest ones on YouTube specifically. I was just looking at your YouTube channel, and it's got this interesting folkish sort of like 20s almost sound to it. It's really hard to like pinpoint exactly what it is, but it's a kind of a departure from your regular stuff. And is that kind of a style that you're going to be following, or is that just like we're going to try this and then we're going to go this way, or no?
I think in our songwriting, it is a really interesting marriage of everybody's styles, and when somebody will come with, like we were talking earlier, several of our songs, actually a lot of the songs on this new EP were written based almost on freestyles that we did, because in Alaska when we're playing these shows, they're 4-hour-long shows. We're the only entertainment for the night, if you will. And so we end up doing a lot of freestyling, and that's a really fun aspect of the band because we're comfortable with it, and we just can like make stuff up on the fly, but then also like songs get born out of that. And so every song on the CP was actually written during tours in Alaska, because we've been up there 5 times in the past year.
You get these kind of stragglers, in a way, of songs that are a little bit more of an outlier. It's really interesting to see a band actually trying to not develop something to then follow down that road, but just to develop it because you can,
Yeah.
Just the organic aspect of it.
Exactly. There's no like necessity to the point of like, well, we just recorded Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, let's do the White Album now. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, we should try going down that road, we should try following that style. We'll just do whatever we want to do. That's brilliant. That's good. I like that a lot.
Wonder why love cries, tough time, cut my bloodline. Sometime lust dies, other time lust dries. Cause I touch high sunshine, cause I touch high sunshine. From my lust find unwind, some fun time. One rhyme pattern, I'm done. Sit back, let time scatter the sun. Where is my money? Where is my money? Where is my money?
There's so many people who are in, they try and categorize themselves in a specific genre, and then they just fall by the wayside because they only want to do that genre. But you guys are so open to anything and everything. Really excited to hear what this is going to be. I guess lastly, because we gotta get going, tour stories. I want to hear all of them. Tell me all
That
of
would
the
be
tour
like
stories.
another 5.
We have like
Trust me,
really
we'll only,
nice
like I
tours.
said,
Pick a
we will only
subject.
use 10 seconds. Did you not hear me when I said we'll only use 10 seconds of
Can
this?
we use a really nice tour story? 'Cause
A
we
really
have
nice
so
one?
many-
Oh,
We
the
have
nice
like-
edited one with the sunshine
Are you
and the
cutting edge?
flowers.
Cutting edge?
Yeah, no sunshine.
No.
Should I
Yeah.
tell, the,
Yeah,
should
we
I
were,
tell
like,
one
flown.
quick funny story about selling beer out of the truck?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Selling.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we played at this place called the Fairview Inn in Talkeetna, Alaska. It's this tiny little art town.
Don't know where that is?
Beautiful, but there's a bar there that has 7. It's an inn, so it has 7 rooms, and we stay in the rooms. The band stays in the rooms, and the stage is downstairs in the bar. But we play like all night, and so there was these crazy Irish guys there at the show, and they were just like partying, and
It was
so
a
like
batch?
it was like a bachelor party. No, it was a
Yeah.
wedding.
There
It
were
was a wedding
several
the next day.
in town at the time.
So Brian and I decided to do get a little mushroom chocolate. We split it up at like 3 a.m. and then we're outside the bar. It's like still partying going on, but the bar's closed. And I'm like, Nick had bought like a 30-pack of Bud Light, and it was in the truck, in the Suburban. And I was like, "You guys want some beers?" And they just lined up at this door.
Started
I
handing you
opened up the
fivers
door,
and-
and I was selling beers, $2, $1.
They're calling them pints.
And they were like,
Oh my God.
"Can I get another pint?" And I was like, "Of this warm Bud Light?" "You sure can."
How far gone were they? What are they at a bar in the back of a van? Like,
Essentially, we got kicked out of the bar, ended up in the street, and they were just doing like these rounds. Like everybody was just singing. They were doing everything from.
Oh, I remember.
It may or
They were
may
like
not have
below
been
our window,
outside our window.
and I was just like standing at the window cursing them, like shut the.
This is like 4 or 5 in the morning, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
4 or
know.
5 in the
And
morning.
honestly, it was intimidating because like it was essentially like these like really rowdy like frat dudes that were just like all like they were like they had grown up together and they were just like singing these crazy things. They're like, okay, now it's your turn to sing. You sing now.
It was so
It's like,
intense.
oh.
And I was
And
like,
Adam's
"Hi."
over here. He's like, I've been to England, and they're like, what? They're
Not even
we're
English.
from
So
Ireland.
mad at me.
And I'm like,
So
don't
mad
mind
at me.
him. He's just selling beers.
I was like, "Who wants another
he's just
beer?"
a bartender. Leave him alone.
By the end, it was like 6 a.m. Brian's like, "Dude, we gotta go inside," and it was like literally 20 feet to the door, and they were like,
You crawled.
At that point, beer was flying in the air. It was like crazy. And we couldn't get the key. The key was stuck, and it
We
was,
got
like,
the door
so
open, but the
intense.
key would not come out.
So we thought they were gonna get, but it was like the funniest time, and I'm so glad I was like.
So Adam did not get beaten up by
And
these
then
guys.
I paid Nick back with like $45. It was like way more than the $30.
Yeah, so the next day, I hear from one of the guys who was there. He's like, "Oh yeah, we were hanging out. Like there was all this Bud Light going around." I was like,
I have a sneaking suspicion that
I was
that was my Bud Light.
I was outside before a show, and one of the radio guys and this other, they were like, "Hey, did you hear that guy was selling beer out of the car?" I was like, "Oh, that was me."
Small town words gets around really quickly.
Pretty quickly, within hours and minutes.
Oh,
But
dear
that was
God.
a fun thing. But we've had so much fun on tour in Alaska.
Oh,
And
it's-
everywhere we go, we have
Yeah.
fun together.
And it's
Like
the
yeah.
daylight, like
Yeah.
it just doesn't stop. Like people
Yeah,
just
it's like
are
crazy
always
energy
awake
from it.
and
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it stays light until hella late.
you
doesn't it?
finish
just
your
all the
set
time.
at 2
Yeah.
sometimes
24
and
hours.
walk out, and it's like twilight. It's like
Just everyone's
constantly
awake.
7 p.m. Yeah, and people they're down to get down. There's like an oscillation to it because people who are there in the winter are sort of like burrowed in their homes for the winter, and then the summer comes around and they're just like, we got 2 or 3 months, we're going crazy. So they're huge supporters of live music, and that's a big part of the reason we come back.
See, it's interesting. I think most people in America, because they're the southern part of America here, essentially think that that state is just snowy all the time. But it's interesting to hear that it's like it comes alive in the summertime.
And there's
They're
a
more inclined to go there. Go to Alaska
It does
is-
come alive in the wintertime, too, for,
Yeah.
for other things.
sports.
Right.
It is
Right.
the northernmost temperate rainforest.
Whoa.
It is beautiful.
Thanks,
It blew
Liz.
my mind. I will tell you, it was like
I'm glad to
it
know.
was mind blowing when I was there. Because there's just like water coming out of every surface. There's just waterfalls everywhere and huge. Like the leaves are as big as your body, and it's
It's prehistoric for sure.
beautiful.
especially.
It's really
Talkeetna,
beautiful.
there's-
We don't fact check on this program.
There's
Just
three
right now.
rivers that converge in Talkeetna, and we've been able to go into a 4-seater Cessna plane over the Ruth Glacier by Talkeetna, and the river starts from under the ground, so it's like this water shooting from under the ground, and you're like seeing it, and like, wow, you just feel insignificant to the history of like the Earth when you go to Alaska.
It's definitely one of those places I probably will need to see.
That was pretty deep, right?
Yeah, let's calm it down a bit.
You're not giving me a lot of segues here, man. Like, God, come on now. Anyway, we will be right back with a song from you guys. Stay tuned, stick on the YouTube channel. We'll be right back with Wasteland Hop. Thanks so much. So this is Wasteland Hop with The Curse.
Let's take a walk down our memory lane. Remember the day when the temperature changed. Inner social contract we construct with our contact when we touch each other, cause reach beyond maps. Reach into our inner selves, easy to act crabby when you live within a shell of your former self, cutting corners up so we think no one else ever blinks. No, that self, that's a thing that you wanna leave with. Little bit of wisdom that you can receive with. Into the light, into the dark. Within this life there's only one heart. Pumping blood through your circulatory. Crimson kinship is a circular story. We're a part of the same pattern. The rain in you, the flame in me, through the rings of Saturn. Matter of fact, casket will be packed with the shadows we've dragged across the planet and back. Ironic that we inhabit a trap, can't fathom the fact that this is the last dance, last chance to make a home of nature. So I dwell in the swells of this nomenclature. We're all just people in space, trying to figure out if there's a sequel to the place. Our bodies, material mind, ethereal, our names and an illusion, and it disappears. Well, I peer to the well for my own thirst, only fears being a relic of my own earth.
The curse of the universe and sky is the same as yours and mine, is the same as yours and mine. The curse of the universe and sky is the same as yours and mine, is the same as yours and mine.
Seated in the sky, absorb the form, seem to deny that we're adorned in skin without a reason why. We draft these maps and contracts, create as social symbols cause we need the contact. Beyond that, the echoes forever remain embedded in our bodies, settle into a frame. We were born in that temperature change when the energy came, dismember the clay. So let us remember the day as we take a walk down our memory lane.
The curse of the universe universe and sky is the same as yours and mine, is the same as yours and mine. The curse of the universe and sky is the same as yours and mine, is the same as yours and mine. The curse of the universe and sky is the same.